You may have noticed a trend where people are taking pieces of media, usually video games, and listing all the things that happen in them that are technically war crimes. Interestingly, no one's done one of these videos with Plants vs Zombies, a game that seems perfect for this treatment for with all the versus. In this video, I aim to do just that, but with PvZ2 because frankly, it's a bigger game. Yo, it's me, Editing Free Hat, here to mention that I forgot to mention that I wouldn't be doing any premium plans, and also nothing after modern day. First matter of business, getting a list of war crimes. Unfortunately, I could not find a comprehensive list of war crimes online. Instead, I had to cobble together a good enough list of war crimes for me to use throughout this video from resources like the Red Cross, British Metropolitan Police, basically anything that wasn't a Jeep conventions themselves. I'll be referencing the list throughout, but won't actually show it because it's about as bare bones as a war crime list can get. I'll largely be going world by world, but there's a few things that are war crimes and independent of the game's worlds, which I will be covering here. There are a few kinds of zombie that span worlds, with a different skill each time. Mainly Basic, Conehead, Buckethead, Flag, Gargantua, and Imp. Conehead and Bucket Zombie are both in violation of number 16 on my list, plunder of private or public property. Sans the worlds where cones and buckets don't exist, and the variant that canonically bought their cone, that gives us 17 war criminals already. Also no, imps aren't kids, they're just little guys. The point of trample flowers as an objective is to not let them get injured while they stand idly by, otherwise you lose the level. And not to nitpick, but standing idly by, getting injured, sounds a lot like attacking non-combatants to me. Now this next one is a bit obscure for lack of a better term, so let me explain. To give no quarter essentially means that all opposing combatants will be killed instead of being taken prisoner or left alone. Understandably, this is outlawed by the First Geneva Protocol. Anyways, this happens in every level. Now one of the most recognizable war crimes is that you're not allowed to use child soldiers. Specifically, you can't enlist anyone below the age of 15. So anyway, the plans can't be any older than the day at most. This is because you plan them during the level with things called seed packets, which, I don't know, constitute plant buff to me. Sunflower. You're gonna have to hear me out on this one. As the first sun producer you will unlock, Sunflower doesn't do much other than produce sun, i.e. they don't attack. Yes, I am suggesting that zombies eating them is attacking non-combatants. On the other side of the coin, or face really, is Walnut, who does nothing but stand there and get eaten. Not only is this a war crime for the zombies, but probably also you, the player, for putting them in the front of the lawn knowing full well that they'll get eaten. Potato Mine is the first plant where it is the war crime itself. Mines are banned because a button that goes kablooey can't really distinguish between the soldier and the civilian. I mean, this guy probably could due to the eyes, but the Geneva Conventions weren't written with the concept of a little guy in mind. Before we get into the plants and zombies of ancient Egypt, we have a war crime that's part of the world itself. The gimmick of this world is graves that block shots from straight shooting plants, but not loved ones, and the graves take damage from the straight shots. Unless they were summoned before the battle by a Tomb Raider zombie, then this counts as destruction of property that is of particular cultural importance. Yes, I know this world is set before the creation of the Geneva Conventions, but you, Dave, and Zomboss are all from the present, so you all easily could have just brought a copy with you. Iceberg lettuce would fall on the non-combatants, but they don't get eaten. They just kind of explode when a zombie steps on them. Iceberg lettuce, are you a landmine? Gravebuster is a plant whose job is to destroy the graves. Come on guys, I thought you were better at this. So they can get eaten but don't attack, so add level 1 to what will become a very daunting pile at the end of this. Twin Sunflower, they don't attack, get eaten, you know the drill. Raw Zombie steals suns, and I do not know what to make of that. Explorer Zombie uses a torch to instantly kill plants. Flame-based weapons aren't entirely outlawed in war, but one specific use case where they are outlawed is any scenario where they could end up harming forestry, i.e. plants, without revealing any military objectives. Pharaoh Zombie uses a sarcophagus as armor. I don't know if it's the zombie or the plants that's creating it, But either way, it's gonna get desecrated. Then you've got the world's gargantua, who uses one as a weapon. Zombot Sphinxinator's almanac entry states that it was chiseled out of cursed tombs. Going in, I was not expecting this much destruction of important cultural property, but here we are. Spikeweed falls under the same super category of war crime as potato mine, that being booby traps. Springbean is another one of the plants that doesn't attack but can be eaten. However, Springbean does fling zombies back, which can result in them taking more damage, and even kill them if you place them next to the water. So, can you legally eat Springbean? I mean, probably, yeah. Spikerock is just an upgrade of Spikeweed, so they'll have the same war crimes not only because they share the same functionality, but because they'll still be serving their sentence. Barrel Roller Zombie carries imps in their barrel. Coincidentally, Imp Cannon shoots imps out from its barrel. I can find any war crime discounts there, but like, it's gotta count. Jellybean is another plant where they don't attack but can still kill. In this case, it's even more cut and dry than Springbean, since being eaten is what gets them to kill. Jellybean isn't a non-combatant, they're a suicide bomber. Probably also poisonous. Taller is another one of the plants that both does not attack and is meant to be eaten. I only now realize that putting this entry right next to Jellybean might not have been the smartest idea to keep using this phrasing. Charred Guard does fling back zombies like Springbean, but the difference is that Springbean simply recharges. Charred Guard cannot fling zombies back more than 3 times. So after that third fling, they can't attack anymore, making them effectively equal to a surrendered soldier. Dunyan uses bad breath, i.e. a gas, to stun zombies, and that just feels tantamount to using one of the naughty gases. Article 53 of Protocol 1 outlaws a lot of places as battlegrounds for conflict, and one such example is historic monuments, something I think the titular Lost City would count as. Red Stinger's gimmick is that the closer they are to the right side of the lawn, they'll have more health but fire less. That means on far enough columns, they won't attack, and you know where this is going. Sally has the same general deal as Dunyan. It's worth noting that a majority of the Lost City zombies are British. I've mentioned Article 53 already for this world, but I would like to single out Relic Hunter Zombie, who is specifically here because they want to steal relics. Turquoise Skull Zombies got a lot going on. First of all, they steal sun just like Gra Zombie does, but also shoot a laser beam from their skull. Technically only blinding laser weapons are outlawed, but if you die, your eyes aren't gonna work well. Thankfully, they don't have the same issue as Relic Hunter Zombie because the almanac entry states that turquoise skulls are nothing special. But on the other hand, he has not subscribed. I know we just talked about lasers, but laser beam is, I believe, okay, as none of their attacks are one-hit kills, not even their final group. On the other hand, Magnifying Glass's plant food effect does instantly kill zombies, though the animation implies that the effect is more incendiary than laserfall. And to round off this series of lasers, we have Gargantua Prime, who does pretty much the same thing as Turquoise Skull Zombie. And only placed here because I wrote that section to be without interruption, and this plant is an interruption, Infinite. They don't attack and get eaten. Don't worry though, they get better. Remember the graves from ancient Egypt and how there were entire plants dedicated to destroying them? Yeah. They're here in Dark Ages too. Sunshroom's your typical non-combatant bear. Sunbeam affects zombies that eat it, and in their plant food effect, instantly kills them. That's definitely some kind of poison. Magnet Shroom just straight up steals stuff. They're only barely not a non-combatant because they can kill one zombie by ripping the head off, which also feels like a war crime. As in Zombie's Almanac entry heavily implies necromancy. It's possible that Wizard Zombie is the only one intentionally not breaking the law before. The Almanac entry is about other zombies wishing that they turned the other planet into more zombies, something that Wizard Zombie does not do. This would, however, be compelling service in a hostile cult, which is a war crime. Garlic may not have any suspicious gases normally, but when you activate their plant food effect, what do? Bad breath. Spore Shroom creates more Spore Shrooms when it kills zombies. I'm not sure how it works, but it's definitely some kind of biological warfare. Intensive Carrot brings back the dead. Let's be honest, arcade zombie can't be any older than 15. 80% of Jurassic Marsh's plants are just primal versions of the plants from Player's House, which all commit the same war crime that their descendants would go on to commit in the future. Perfume Shroom is another one of those suspicious gas plants, but the Almanac entry confirms that the gas is aerosolized love. Probably just pheromones. Table Kelp is another one of, and I believe last of the plants that are functionally booby traps. Moonflower is another one of, and I believe last of the plants that are functionally non-combatants. Shadow Shroom is just poison. No ifs, ands, or buts. The plant poison effect makes them spew poison all over the lawn. No ifs, ands, or buts. Loon Zombie has a little helicopter hat, which means they've got to be a child combatant. Enjoy your month, gays!